building a 340-foot long Louisiana oyster po' boy. We started doing this after Katrina to let people know, hey, the French Quarter is alive, and let also people know that our fishermen out there working, bringing product to the American consumer. So this is a way for us to showcase what we do best in Louisiana. We got the best chefs in the world. We got 28 chefs out here today building a 340-foot long oyster po' boy, 5,500 oysters being deep fried by Acme Oyster House right over here. And at noon, we're going to make the cut.
We're doing a little Creole Cajun type of oyster po' boy. We came in second with it last year, so we're doing it the same thing we're doing. We're doing sliced brie, hog head cheese, some apple smoked bacon, some different types of slaw that we're doing on top of it, and it's just an array of different flavors. Every time you take a bite, it's a new flavor, so it's going to be outstanding. So Louisiana oysters can't go bad.
We did our Papa Broussard's po' boy.
What is the secret ingredient?
That'd be our Rockefeller spinach.
What do you like the best about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
Oh, they hold up very well, and they have amazing flavor.
We were creating what we call an oysterletta, or a fried oyster version of our New Orleans classic muffaletta. Marinated artichoke hearts, olive salad, beautiful olive oil, lots of fresh herbs, and heavy, heavy garlic.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
Louisiana oysters are the finest in the world. You know, I had an opportunity on many occasions to be up at some northeastern oyster bars tasting 15, 20 different styles of oysters, and I'm more convinced than ever that our local oysters, with their brininess and their big flavor and their size, are the finest oysters in the world.
How'd you come up with this recipe?
It's a mixture of a few things that I like, as far as caramelized onions, oranges, compound butter, apples. You know, it's a mixture of everything going in it with a little smoked Gouda cheese in it. That's what really makes it a cheese.
What do you like best about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
They're nice sized oysters. They have very good flavor, nice salt, nice sweet flavor to them. Very good.
What's your reaction to how this event has grown over the years?
Over the years, it's grown quite a bit. It's quite a bit. We're looking at, you know, hopefully every year it gets much bigger. So we're looking at, it was a 300+ foot po' boy. Let's try to make it 500-600. So let's go with that.
It's a feta Neptune. It's a sauteed crab meat, heavy whipping cream, jalapenos, cilantro, and spinach.
How'd you come up with this dish?
It's a topper we came up for our fish, red fish we do at the restaurant. It's one of our biggest sellers, so I figured we could go ahead and add it to an oyster po' boy.
What do you like about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
I love oysters, any which way you can get them, so, you know, it's just a natural, it's a New Orleans staple food, so, you know, I mean, you got to have them.
A French dip oyster po' boy. It's our take on the French dip sandwich, where we added oysters. It had Swiss cheese, roast beef debris, and a Creole mustard and horseradish coleslaw.
What do you like the best about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
The best thing is that we know we're supporting people of our region to help them try and get back on their feet after all the things they've been through in the last couple of years. Actually, this is my first year, so I'm hoping that it gets better and better, especially since my restaurant's right across the street from the presentations.
I cooked a balsamic sweet oyster po' boy sandwich.
How'd you come up with the recipe?
Oh yes, me and my chef, we was in the kitchen just sitting down, and one day and we just kept fumbling with some recipes, and we just came along with it.
What do you like best about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
Oh, I just love the smile on people's faces when I give them a good meal.
What do you think of how the Jubilee has grown over the years?
Oh yes, it looks like it's getting better and better as the years go by, and I just hope it gets bigger and bigger as the days go on.
What I did was an oyster po' boy, and I call it Galatoires on a bun. Everything Galatoires, delicious and fatty, just put on a bun with some beautiful Louisiana fried oysters. Started off with some mayonnaise, then I finished up with some Rockefeller sauce, which we make in-house. Then I topped it with some sliced tomatoes, shredded lettuce. Also topped it then with some fried, beautiful Louisiana oysters. Then topped that with hollandaise. Then went back with Meuniere, put the piece of bread on top, sliced it, and sold it for $100.
What do you like the best about cooking with Louisiana oysters?
Really, they're just fresh, they're delicious. The size is It's beautiful. It's what we do. We represent the South. We're proud of our product, and we give it 100%, and we cook it well. And I'm just happy with it. At the end of the day, when I serve it to the customer, I know I'm giving the best product I can give them.
All right, all the locals from New Orleans, welcome our guests. Make some noise for them. It's all about our friends coming here. And look, Mr. Wilbur Collins is one of our famous oystermen right here in Louisiana. These are the guys that make it happen. Mr. Wilbur Collins, what generation are you?
5.
5 generations. His sons, the 6th and 7th generations. Give it up for Mr. Wilbur Collins. Thank you, Wilbur.
While I do believe the Louisiana oyster is the best oyster in the whole world, there's one oyster that's better. It's the free oyster. Today you get free oysters.
We had a competition before everybody got here. We were doing a little demonstrations and we had a competition. Now I've got in my hands who's going to be in 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Each restaurant made their pool boy. Some of the restaurants here made their pool boy today, and a panel of distinguished judges had the opportunity to build that pool boy. So with that said, I'm going to bring up 3rd place first. In 3rd place, we have GW Fins. Give it up for GW Fins. Come on up here, GW Fins. What was the name of your pool boy?
I was kind of oyster artichoke soup on a bun.
Oyster artichoke soup on a bun. Give it up for chef. Give it up for the chef. GW Fins, 3rd place, folks. All right. Oh, I love this. In 2nd place, there's a very special man. There's only one man on this street right now with a full head of green hair. Tracy. Tracy's Restaurant. We need to set him up on a date with Flirty Girl, for those of you who know the Flirty Girl, right? Yeah? All right. 2nd place, chef. What was the name of your oyster?
We did Oysters Tracy with the avocado aioli, a little horseradish, some jalapenos, and some wasabi.
Very good. Congratulations, chef. Give it up for chef. And this is actually pretty cool. There's a very special group here that won today. And let me tell you, the scoring is very, very tight. We had a panel of 5 distinguished judges that put this together. And the group that won today does amazing, amazing, amazing work. Give it up for Cafe Reconcile. Come on up here, Cafe Reconcile. The whole team, come on up here. Get the whole team up here.
Good job.
All right, chefs. Good job, guys. Good job. Come on up here. Come on up here. All right, folks. Now, thank you, guys. Give it up. Give it up for the chefs. It's all about the chefs, folks. These guys are our ambassadors. They're the ones that make this beautiful po' boy. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, Mr.
Chefs, cut your po' boys.
All right, folks. We want to thank everybody for coming out here today. We've got a beautiful po' boy for you all. Enjoy, enjoy. Get that music cranking. Enjoy the po' boy.
Watch your fingers.
Just be careful. Make sure you don't hurt anybody. Keep it cut.
I love it. It's good food. Delicious.
Do you love the Louisiana Oyster po' boy?
I love them all. They're great.
How can you not enjoy yourself in New Orleans? It's been fabulous. They've had a great time.
They're awesome. I'm eating Acme, and they're unbelievable.
Love it. It's great. From Galatoire. It's perfect, as always.
I love it. I eat it all the time.
It's fantastic. No. I think I have it all over my face right now.
No, you don't.
It's really, really good.
I'm enjoying it. It's a madhouse. I didn't realize there's this many people out here. And then after they cut the sandwich, getting hip checked, I thought it was in a hockey game.
Fine. This is the best one ever. Oh, yeah. I done came to all of them almost. This is the best one ever.
Nice. I love it. It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. So great.
Louisiana Oyster po' boys. Oh, they're wonderful. Always. They're so good. The food is so great.
It's wonderful. Wonderful. It's great. It made my day.
Oh, I'm loving it. It's really good.
Louisiana is the #1 producer of oysters in the nation, and we produce about 250 million pounds of oysters a year. And you know, if you're going to do oysters, if you're going to have oysters, this is the place to do it. And we've got some of the best restaurants here today, 28 of them, you know, cooking up Louisiana oysters. What's kind of unique about this pool boy, this is really cool. Every restaurant does their version of the pool boy a different way. So it's kind of like Mardi Gras. You know how people gather on the neutral grounds in advance to get their spot? Same thing happens when we build this pool boy. They come early to get their spot in front of their favorite restaurant, whether it's Galatoire or Antoine's, Cafe B, Redfish Grill, Duke's restaurant, Duke's Lo Cicero with Cafe Giovanni. All these incredible restaurants do their own version of oyster pool boy. It's a chance for everybody to try oysters a lot of different ways.
What goes through your mind when you take a look at this 340-foot pool boy?
What goes through my mind is it's a lot of love going down Bourbon Street. 340 feet of oysters, 340 feet of Leidenheimer bread, 340 feet of 5,500 Louisiana oysters. You know, it's a visual, it's a spectacle, and I tell you what's important for us with what we do is we work with all these amazing chefs that help us build this pool boy. These chefs in Louisiana, in New Orleans, they're the best spokespeople in the world. There are Drew Brees. As Drew Brees was, endorsing a product, the chefs are our spokespeople. There's no question about it. The best hospitality in the world, working with some of the best product in the world, whether it's Louisiana oysters, shrimp, crabs, finfish, crawfish, you name it. We're doing it right here today on Bourbon Street.
If people have questions or like more information, what should they do?
Best thing they can do is they can go to LouisianaSeafood.com. We're also doing something incredibly special this year. We're honoring the family of the Voisin family. Mike Voisin, who is a leader for our state, actually a seafood leader for the entire nation and one of the probably top leaders in the world for seafood, passed away in February. So we're announcing a dish called Oysters Voisin, and we're going to have all the chefs come up in their white coats, we call White Coat Brigade, to honor Mike Voisin. His wife Sarah will be with us here today.
This is a tribute to him and his wife, Sarah Voisin. Mike was a leader in our industry. He led our industry for 40 years. And these chefs are here to honor Mike Voisin. His oyster business was a leader in our state for many, many years, and his family's here they're here for his family, and we couldn't think of a better way than to honor Mike Voisin with his family. And I want to introduce Sarah Voisin here for a second and her son Kevin, and then we're gonna do something very, very special. She's gonna announce, but for the fun part of it, she's gonna announce the building of the pool boy, which we'll cut at noon. We're also going to bring up Tommy Cvitanovich. We got our chefs together and we asked them, what can we do to honor Mike Voisin, who passed away early February? And the idea that Tommy came up with, and the minute we heard it, we knew it was a phenomenal idea, and that was to create a dish called Oysters Voisin that can be on any restaurant in the United States. And of course, the restaurants here will be doing that. So Sarah, if you want to say a couple words for your husband, then I'm going to bring up Tommy and he can talk. So you and your son, and then we're going to bring up Tommy to talk about Oysters Voisin.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here for this occasion to honor my wonderful husband. Thank you for recognizing his hard work for so many years. You know, I gave him up to the world. The man was so involved. Every time I'd ask him, Mike, how many organizations are you president of? He would just evade the question because he knew I'd fuss him. But he did wonderful things, and I'm very proud of him and his legacy. And the grandchildren we have 14 that have this legacy to raise up and to grow up with, and they're lucky. Thank you again for this. And I want you to know that Mike did a lot of work, and a lot of people are saying, well, who's going to do it now? Guess who? It's going to be us. We're going to stand up and walk forward for Louisiana now. It's us.
I want to thank everybody for being out. My dad was a lot of things. It started with a great husband and a great dad. He made a great impact in the lives of those people that he met. Nobody knew my dad a little bit. Everybody knew my dad because if he was with you, he paid attention to you, he cared about you, and he listened to you. In my life, I'm trying to be more like my dad, and I hope we can all love the people we're with, listen to them, understand who they are, and help where we can help. Thank you so much for being out here. Thank you to all these chefs who put all this work and effort into this, and let's have a great day.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Kevin. I want to bring up somebody else special with us, Mr. Tommy Cvitanovich. He's going to talk about oysters voisin. He's going to talk about why we're doing it. And one thing about our chefs in Louisiana and our fishermen, our fishing communities, there's a passion that is undeniable, unbelievable. And Tommy's a giant with his passion, and he'll share that why we're doing what we're doing.
You know, all these guys back here knew Mike as a spokesman for our industry. Nobody spoke more for Gulf seafood, Louisiana seafood, and in particular Louisiana oysters than Mike. And like Sarah said, he's a guy that's, Kevin, I'm sorry, you're not going to fill his shoes. I mean, there's nobody out there that can fill this man's shoes. He was great for our industry. He was unbelievable. In the hospital down in Houma, I mean, those guys, how they're going to do without him there, because he was an advocate not only for seafood, but for health care, for the person he was as a friend. Most importantly, I was very honored to know him, and his best tribute is how he was a grandfather and a dad and a husband and a friend for ours, and we're going to miss the hell out of him. What we wanted to do as a tribute is, how do you honor a guy like that? Yeah, you can have a thing like this and honor. We want something to live on. We want Mike Voisin to live on. And one way to do it, New Orleans is famous for our restaurants. And a way to do it is to name a dish after him, a dish that we can make in every restaurant, from the finest restaurants to the po' boy shops, and most importantly, where Mike would want it as well, is for it to be cooked at home, so somebody can cook it at home. So we're going to have 3 main ingredients in this dish. It's going to be bread, it's going to be spinach, and of course the Louisiana oyster. And Ralph is up there making our version. Basically, we're going to take a piece of French bread, hollow it out, spinach dip. Let me tell you something about spinach dip. It's like sex. It's all good. Some of it's just better than others. I've never had a bad spinach dip, whether it's cold, whether it's hot. It's never had too much cheese in it. It's always been good. So we put a spinach dip in there. We top it with fried oysters. We have bacon. We have cheese. We have seasoning. And then the other thing in New Orleans, Bordelais sauce. You got to have some garlic on there. And but most importantly, that's our version. I mean, Acme is going to come up with their version, which is a slightly different, where it's going to be like an oyster. It's going to be an oyster and spinach soup that's going to be inside of a bread bowl. So that's going to be their version of oyster voisin. Some restaurants may put it on a piece of brioche bread. Some may team it up with some other good Louisiana seafood. But the main things are bread, spinach, and oysters, and it's oyster voisin, and we hope he lives on forever in our industry. Thank you for giving us Mike.
Well, here's to the oystermen in the hands of God.
Yeah.
My sweet husband.
The oysters voisin dish is very simple. It's oysters, spinach, and bread, and any restaurant can make it their own version and put it on their menu. So it could be oysters voisin Drago, oysters voisin Antoine's. It could be oysters voisin Acadiana, which is a restaurant in D.C. So it's not just for Louisiana. Any restaurant that wants to, in memory, promote, memory honor Mike Voisin and his family, they can put this dish on their menu, and this will continue his legacy for years to come. He served for 40 years our industry and our state, our seafood communities in our state, and we want to keep his name alive and his vision alive. He helped actually create the Louisiana Seafood Board. He started it. It was his vision, and we want to keep that torch moving forward for him.
The best way to describe Mike, if you didn't know him, you know, there's lots of people that do lots of good things, and when they pass away, people always say, you know, oh, he was such a good guy, he's this, he's that. But there's always somebody that has something bad to say about somebody. I assure you, there is nothing anybody can say bad about Mike Voisin. He was just, I just hope I can be the husband, the father, the advocate, the restaurateur, and just the person that Mike Voisin was. He was just, he was as close to perfect as you can get.
It's very touching. It heals my heart to know that Mike's work has been appreciated and has made such a difference. And I just can't explain how proud I am for Louisiana, that we've got so much good here. Especially our seafood deserves all the attention in the world.